The Orion trade hub never truly slept. Even during its artificial night cycle, freight haulers docked with surgical precision, light rails hummed through the station's spine, and 1,000 species carried out business that spanned half the galaxy. To most, it was a marvel of cooperation. To Evan Calder, it was just another job. He managed logistics for Dock Ring 7, cargo manifests, crew rotations, conflict mediation when off-worlders misunderstood one another's customs. It was tedious, exhausting, and quietly dangerous. Which was why it surprised him when his new supervisor arrived without ceremony. She simply appeared one cycle, standing beside the command console as if she had always been there. "Evan Calder," she said. "You will continue your duties under my oversight." She was taller than him by a head, her form slender and composed, her skin a soft, dark iridescence that shifted under the station lights. Her eyes, large, silver, and unsettlingly calm, never blinked. "I'm Manager Thrissy of the Virex Collective." The name carried weight. Evan had heard of the Virex, an ancient species rumored to survive not on physical sustenance alone, but on something far less understood. "Welcome to Dock 7, Evan said, keeping his tone professional. "If you need orientation." "I already understand your procedures," Thrissy replied. "I require observation, not instruction." That should have been his first warning. At first, Thrissy was an exemplary manager. Too exemplary. She noticed inefficiencies Evan had overlooked for years. She anticipated labor disputes before they escalated. She restructured docking schedules with such precision that delays dropped to near zero. Yet she never ate. Station etiquette required managers to attend communal meals, if only symbolically. Thrissy declined every invitation with polite finality. "I do not crave food," she said the first time Evan asked. That alone wasn't unusual. Many species consumed nutrients in non-traditional ways. But as cycles passed, Evan noticed other things. She lingered near human crews longer than necessary. She watched expressions closely: fatigue, relief, frustration. When arguments broke out, she positioned herself not to stop them, but to observe them. And sometimes, when she thought no one was looking, her posture slackened, just slightly, as if holding herself together required effort. The first time she summoned Evan privately, he assumed it was about performance. Her office was spare. No decorations. No personal artifacts. Just a wide viewport overlooking the station's core. "Sit," she said. He did. "You are resilient," Thrissy began. "Your stress indicators remain elevated, yet you continue to function." "That's humans for you," Evan replied lightly. "We complain, then we keep going." Her gaze sharpened. "That persistence is why I requested assignment here." Evan frowned. "Requested? I chose this post," she said. "For you." Silence stretched between them. "Okay," Evan said slowly. "I feel like I should be alarmed now." She tilted her head, studying him. "Perhaps." The truth emerged gradually. The Virex, Thrissy explained during a later conversation, were empathic metabolizers. Their biology converted emotional resonance into energy. Not emotions themselves, but the act of emotional processing. Stress. Resolve. Hope. Despair turned into endurance. "We do not consume minds," she clarified quickly. "We draw from excess, what most species shed without noticing." "And humans?" Evan asked. She hesitated. "Humans generate abundance." That explained her interest. What it did not explain was why she looked worse with each passing cycle. Her iridescent skin dulled. Her movements slowed. Once, Evan caught her gripping the edge of a console, steadying herself as if dizzy. "You're starving," he said bluntly. "I am managing," Thrissy replied. "By Virex standards." "No." That was when she finally said it. "I don't crave food," she told him quietly. "But I am hungry." Evan swallowed. "For what?" Her silver eyes locked onto his. "For you to allow me access." The words landed with unsettling weight. "Access to what?" Evan demanded. "To your emotional output," she said. "Consciously. Temporarily. With consent." The station seemed suddenly too quiet. "You're asking me to let you feed on my stress?" "Yes." "Why me?" "Because you do not break," she said simply. "And because I am careful." Evan leaned back, heart pounding. "And if I say no? Then I will continue to deteriorate," Thrissy said. "And eventually, I will be recalled or shut down." That phrasing chilled him. You make it sound like death. For a Virex, she said, it is. Evan didn't agree immediately. He researched. Consulted medical officers. Dug through interspecies accords. The practice was legal, but rare. Most species found it invasive. Dangerous. Humans, according to the data, were uniquely compatible. High recovery rates, one report noted. Subject reports increased emotional clarity after controlled sessions. That didn't make him feel better. What convinced him wasn't the data. It was watching Thrissy struggle to remain upright during a crisis on Dock 9, and still refuse to draw without permission. All right, Evan said finally. But on my terms. They established safeguards. Time limits. Monitoring. Emergency cutoffs. The first session took place in her office. Focus on a memory that carries weight, she instructed softly. Evan closed his eyes. He thought of the colony evacuation years ago. Of choosing who got a seat on the last transport. Of surviving when others didn't. The sensation was strange. Not pain. Not relief. A pressure eased from his chest, like letting out a breath he'd been holding for years. Thrissy gasped. Color flooded back into her skin. Her posture straightened, luminous patterns rippling faintly along her arms. She stepped back immediately. That is sufficient, she said, voice unsteady. Are you harmed? Evan opened his eyes. No. Just, lighter. They stared at each other, equally shaken. Word spread quickly. Not about the feeding, but about results. Dock efficiency increased. Conflicts decreased. Evan noticed changes in himself too. He slept better. Thought clearer. He was still stressed, but not drowning in it. Thrissy changed as well. She smiled more. Asked questions about human art, music, and philosophy. Sometimes, she laughed, a sound like chimes resonating through glass. What unsettled Evan most was how human she became. That drew attention. A Virex overseer arrived unannounced, its presence heavy with authority. You have violated protocol, it told Thrissy coldly. Emotional attachment compromises efficiency. I have optimized this sector beyond expectations, Thrissy replied evenly. At personal cost, the overseer countered. You are dependent. Evan stepped forward. She asked. I agreed. No coercion. The overseer's gaze flicked to him. Humans grow careless when useful. Thrissy moved between them. He is not a resource, she said sharply. He is a partner. The word echoed. The overseer withdrew, but not before issuing a warning. This arrangement will end. It didn't. Instead, Evan did something reckless. He filed a petition, invoking a rarely used clause allowing cross-species symbiotic contracts under human law. If approved, it would formalize their bond and protect Thrissy from recall. The review took weeks. During that time, Thrissy refused to feed. I will not risk harming you, she said. You're not, Evan replied. You're surviving. When the approval came through, it was brief and decisive. Contract recognized. Mutual benefit established. Thrissy read it twice, then looked at Evan with something like awe. You chose this, she said. So did you. The next feeding felt different. Balanced. Shared. Years later, the Orion Trade Hub would be cited as the model for a new kind of cooperation. Virex managers paired with human counterparts. Productivity soared. Burnout declined. The galaxy adjusted its assumptions. As for Evan and Thrissy, they continued their work side by side. One cycle, as they watched ships depart through the viewport, Thrissy spoke softly. I once believed hunger was a weakness, she said. Now I understand it is a signal. A signal for what? Evan asked. For connection. She met his gaze, silver eyes warm. And you, she added, taught me that asking is not the same as taking. Evan smiled. In a station built on trade, the most important exchange turned out to be trust.